Hey everybody, good morning. Welcome to day 4 of our holiday Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. Can you believe we only have 2 more challenges, including today? I'm Kathleen Martin. I'm your host. I'm your teacher, I guess, but we're all in this together. We're learning Photoshop together. And if you've never done one of these challenges before, well, I think you're in for a treat. Basically, we're learning the basics of Photoshop over this entire week. And we've been doing that in the form of holiday cards. So every day, a different holiday card. I'm really impressed by some of you that have taken my challenges and just totally made them your own. That is amazing. And we've been checking out each other's work every day on Discord. So we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. Hello, friends in the chat. So good to see you. Oh, Sam Peterson, hi. And the official Adobe Live channel said hi to me as well. Wow. Senpai noticed me. Very cool. So let me know, chat, if you are joining from the States, if you are somewhere else in the world. I'm currently in the Midwest, so just let me know where you're watching from. I love to know geographically where y'all are at. Hey, Andre, good to see you. No worries, Jennifer. Het to you too. All right, so let's check out what the Daily Creative Challenge is super duper quickly so that we can have the same context together. Let's see, we're gonna go to behance.net/challenge/Photoshop. Make sure that my screen is popped over. Perfect. So if you want to know what the challenges are every day, you can go to this site, scroll on down, and this is also where you can get the starter files that I'm working with every day as well. So today we're going to be painting with brushes, and don't be scared. If you're not a painter, that's fine. This challenge is for everyone. I designed it specifically so that everyone would come out with a good result no matter their skills with digital painting. So if you want to get the files I'm going to be working with, click this Get Started button. It will take you to some CC files that you can either save to your work or download yourself. Alrighty. So this is the template that you can download and use, but you don't have to use this. You could use your own images as well if you'd like to. Hello, Chris from Colorado. How you doing? Anki says it's dinner time here. Ooh, Anki, what are you having? What is fueling your creative drive today? Ooh, Tim, Northern Michigan, very windy. It's windy down here too. I bet it's even worse for you up there. All right, so this is our template, making sure that you can see that well. Perfect. And you'll see that I already have some stuff laid out here. So we have our holiday message that we can edit. Let me make this color panel a little bit smaller. That is too big. We do not need that much purple in our lives. So we have these text layers over here where you can edit those and adjust those to your wishes, change the holiday message, change the holiday in general. Doesn't have to be Christmas. Could be whatever you'd like it to be. I saw somebody was celebrating the winter solstice with some of their cards. That was sweet. And then I have this nice dark winter sky in the background. And on top of that, we are going to be adding a really cool Aurora borealis effect, or northern lights, if you aren't familiar with that term. Ooh, are we guessing who's behind the Adobe Live channel today? I have some guesses, but I'll let them dox themselves if they'd like to. All right, so I have some examples already made that I will just click through quickly. We're going to be making these with a simple brush stroke using brushes that everyone has access to. And you'll see as I click through these that you can get a ton of different effects just depending on what kind of brush you use. So this one's more of like a layered, more hazy effect. This one is more, I would say, like cartoony. And then this one is my favorite. It has the most texture. Y'all know I'm a texture fan. Totally. GusBot 3000 coming in hot. Alrighty, so if you were to open up Photoshop fresh, just fresh from the download, you would have access to some pretty cool brushes. So I'm going to activate my brush tool. I'm going to open up my brush options here in my top control panel. And let me go ahead and close this really quick. Let's talk about brushes for a sec. I've got all my folders open. You can tell I was in here playing. All right, when you open up Photoshop Fresh, you'll have access to, I think it's this first 4 groupings of brushes. So we've got general brushes, that's just like your round, your soft, your hard. We've got the dry media brushes, so this is great for sketching. We got pencils, we got charcoal, and you see that these all say Kyle in front of them because Kyle Webster, the Photoshop brush wizard, put these brushes together. And they're available to everyone within Photoshop. We also have wet media brushes. Now these are the brushes that you might use today, specifically this Kyle's Real Oils 01 and the Round Flex Wet. And we're gonna be using these because you'll see over here that there's a little teardrop or paint drop. And that's because these are mixer brushes. And that's gonna allow us to combine multiple different colors and smear them across our canvas, basically. Pretty simple. We're also gonna have some special effects brushes. So we've got the spatter brushes, we've got some concept art texturizing brushes. You'll see that a lot of these are smudge brushes, and some screen tones if you want to make a comic. And if you are a brush fan in the chat, let me know what your favorite brush is. I know everyone has a favorite brush if you're a nerd like I am. I always like the City Gritty brushes. The rake brushes are some of my very favorites, and we're going to talk about those in a second. Let me know what you're digging. I know Sam Peterson is a whiz with just the round brush because he's a wizard like that. All right, let me go ahead and close these up. So if none of these brushes are really calling your name, how do we get more brushes? Luckily, we can do that within the app. Just go up here to this cog and click Get More Brushes. This is a little hot tip in Photoshop or in any like Adobe app. If you see the ellipses at the end of a menu item, that means it's going to take you to another window or to more options. So just keep that in mind. So when I click that, it's going to actually take me to a web page where we can download all of the brushes possible. So the newest release is the Fall 2021 brushes from Kyle Webster. As you scroll down, you'll see that we have many options. If you just want to get like a spattering of brushes to start, I would recommend just getting the mega pack. It has pretty much everything all condensed into one, but if you don't want to be too overwhelmed, you could pick a custom brush set from here. So for this challenge, you might want to try the rake brushes so that we can use that kind of rake texture to create the northern lights. You might even try the impressionist brushes to get more of that painterly texture. Frank says the soft round brush is his favorite. Very cool. Annika, yes, the rake grit. Ooh, and Wade's chalk brush. I don't think I've ever seen Wade use that brush. I bet it's delicious. And as I scroll down, you see that we just have, I said all the brushes and I meant all of the brushes. There's also one specifically for winter. The winter 2021 hasn't come out yet, hasn't dropped, but the 2020 brushes are here. And you can see that there's almost like the snowy day style to this, that children's book, almost like digital collage with some half toning and some gritty texture. Very cool. So thank you, Kyle Webster, if you're watching out there. Appreciate all of your brushes. So all you would do is click download, and then once you get those brushes downloaded, you can simply drag them from your downloads file or your folder onto Photoshop or into Photoshop, and they will automatically install. Very nice. What's up, Robert and Jody? Good to see you, friends. So let's just go ahead and start playing with some brushes. I'm gonna turn this off, and I'm gonna make a new layer. Let me group up all of these so that they're not distracting us. Command G to group a bunch of layers together. I don't know if my texts are coming through. I can't see them. We see you, Tim. We see you and we hear you. I'm going to do Command 0 to fill my workspace with my canvas. Let's make a new layer. Now on this layer, I'm going to choose a brush. So we're just going to start with one of the general brushes. I'm going to just go for the hard, round, default brush. Alrighty, and then over here on the left, we're just gonna drop a couple of blobs of paint. I don't know if y'all have seen this, like on TikTok or on social media, where artists, it's kind of a trend now, but people have been doing it for a while, where they will drop some paint in a line and then they'll use like a squeegee to make a cool design. That's basically what we're gonna do, but in the digital realm, which is funny. I love when we can take the real world application and make it digital. All right, so let's drop some multicolored pieces of paint. I've got pink selected, so we'll do a little bit of pink. because if you go over to some pictures of the Northern Lights or Aurora borealis, there's kind of three colors that are most prevalent. There's like a pinky purpley, there's a blue, and there's a green. And it kind of depends what vibe you want to get for how much you want to put of each of those colors. So we're going to focus on the green, do a little bit more blue, and a very little pink. All right, back to Photoshop. So maybe like 2 dots of pink. I'll come over here to my colors. Maybe we'll do really light green. We're just gonna make like a vertical swatch of some colors. And then we'll come over here to a blue and fill in the blanks. Okay, we have our fresh layer with our daubs of paint. What's up, Susan? Good to see ya. And now we want to experiment with some brushes. So before we do that, let's go ahead and make a duplication of this layer so that we can always come back to it and try again if we don't like this specific brush. I'm going to duplicate it. We'll turn off the first one and let's go up to our brushes and have a good time. Hey Wade, we were just talking about your chalk brush and how great the texture is. So let's first start with the brushes that are available in Photoshop. We'll jump into this wet media brush. We'll pick up one of these oil brushes, maybe this one. And you'll notice when we pick up one of the oil brushes or a mixer brush, you get a lot of options at the top. We have the option to change the color that is loaded onto the brush, how wet the oil paint is, how much it mixes with other colors. It's pretty awesome and how close you can get to actually making a real oily effect. So we're going to want to turn a lot of these down so that it's not just an opaque smear of paint. So I'm going to turn my wetness down, load down, mix way down, and flow way down as well. I'm going to want to turn my smoothness up a little bit so that we can get a nice arc. Bobby, great to see you. Oh, thanks Adobe Live for the YouTube shout out. Check it out if you like going to the thrift store. There's not much Photoshop content on there though. Okay, I'm gonna increase my brush size and let's just see how this works. I don't know, but let's just see. I'm gonna click and I'm gonna drag. Whoa. Okay, that picked up a lot of blue. Let's try rotating our brush and seeing how that works. I'm going to open up my brush options. Up here in the top left, you'll notice that there's an option for us to actually change the size of our brush. So let's rotate it so that it's vertical. And now let's see how it goes. We're going to want to make sure too that this load preview is always empty because we want to start fresh every time. Ooh. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. Bobby, you are at home. Thanks so much for being here. All right, I'm looking at this. It's still too opaque for me, and maybe that's just because of the brush we're using, because it doesn't have a whole ton of texture in it. Let's turn down the flow even more. Let's turn down the wetness and the load. Let's just keep things pretty low and then see how it goes. That's better. Okay. Maybe this will serve as like the bottom layer and we could build on top of it. All right, one thing I do love about the Northern Lights is that it almost has this, let me see if I can find a good example of it. Here's a good one. There's like this banding, this vertical banding that goes through it as well. You see all of these little vertical pieces? So let's go ahead and add a little bit of that to our Northern Lights as well. So I'm gonna turn this down even more. I might smear this out one more time to get a little bit more opacity going. And then I'm going to grab some pieces. I'm going to hold shift and I'm just going to pull up and pull down just a little bit to add that slight, almost refraction. I'm not quite sure why this even happens. Maybe it's due to the moisture in the air. Who knows? This just makes it feel a little bit more realistic. All right, this looks pretty cool, and this was just used with the brushes that are already available. If you have a fresh copy of Photoshop, you don't have to download anything. You can do this right now, and with a trackpad. I'm just doing it by dragging across. It used to be that you would have to actually paint this by hand. We're in the future, folks. All right, but let's actually try one of the brushes that we have downloaded that we have access to. So I'm going to turn this off, turn our original little paint strip back on, and let's choose a different brush. So the one that I was playing with earlier is actually in the mega pack. We're going to go ahead and open that. And then I think it was in the Real Oils group. Oh, yep. And it was this bristle cut brush. So you can tell if I zoom in on this little preview that there's a whole ton of texture in here. There's some streakiness in there, which I think will look really nice with what we're trying to achieve. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. We're going to make sure that our paintbrush is not loaded with any colors. And then we're going to adjust our top options. So we're going to want to make sure that this is not super wet. There's not very much paint loaded into it. We want the mix to be real low. Let's play it safe with a 1%. And flow can also be incredibly low as well. I'm just clicking on the word and scrubbing to the left. We want some smoothness so that our line looks natural and organic. We are in the future, D. Every moment. All right, I'm going to increase the size of my brush by tapping my right bracket key. You can also come up here, not there, here, and increase or decrease the size. Cool. And now we're just going to click and drag and see what happens. Ready? Here we go. There's the texture I like. Another reason why I really like the smoothing on Photoshop is that there is a little bit of a lag, usually, but that can help you know how the line is turning out and how you need to adjust it if you want a different outcome. Thanks, Sam. Appreciate the social shout out. So this has these beautiful highs and lows. This almost feels like a little golden book, like a Mary Blair illustration. So nice. We can also continue to build it up a little bit as we click and drag a little bit more. Ooh, okay. Now we're getting a little bit of thinness up here at the top, which I don't mind. And maybe we just want to start over. Maybe we just want to go to Command Z, Command Z, Command Z. I'm the president of Command Z Town. Thanks, Judith. I think so too. It is like Photoshop animation. So let's try this one more time. Oh. One more. Sometimes if you zoom out, you have a little bit more room to work with the trackpad. Nope. If you've ever done digital painting in Photoshop, you know that there's a lot of undoing and redoing the same stroke over and over again until it just feels right, you know? This is going to be it, though. Oh, yeah. Yes. Nailed it. Very cool. I'm going to go ahead and maybe smudge this a little bit backwards. Decrease the size of my brush, build up this bottom a bit. And let's try adding some of those vertical lines to diffuse it a little bit. Command oops. I should get a tattoo that says that. I don't have any tattoos, but maybe that'll be my first one. All right, let's add some of these little pieces. Very nice. And boom. Cool. Do you guys want to do it one more time? Just to see what another outcome we can do? Let's use a totally different brush. I'm kind of going off script here. Just having a lot of fun. So we want to choose one of these blender brushes. Let's pick another one that has a lot of texture, but like a different kind of texture. Ooh, this one looks like it has some good texture, right? We'll keep looking. A palette knife? I imagine if you were actually painting on a canvas Bob Ross style, that you could make a really cool Northern Lights effect using a palette knife in this way. So let's try that. Turn down all of our options to keep it nice and textural. Turn up the smoothness. We already have a nice vertical brush. It looks like it was made for this, to be honest. And let's see. That's very blue. I wonder why. Maybe if I add a little bit more pink, we can always adjust our colors a bit. All right, let's try that. Big brush. That's a Technicolor Northern Lights, I'll tell you what. Hey, I kind of like that actually. Feels very magical. Maybe we'll move it down a tiny bit. And I also think that this pink looks pretty nice with the text, and the fact that it's more focused over here on the left allows our text to breathe a little bit too. I'm gonna increase the size just a tad. And we can't forget to add our vertical lines. Maybe we'll choose a different brush for that though. Let's try the bristle cut again. So we will grab some of our pigment. Whoa, too much, but that is cool. Forgot to turn down all of my values, huh? Oh, it's because flow is still 100. That's the most important one. There we go. Add a couple of these little pieces. It's really funny that it's these, oh, no. It's these small little details that you add at the end that make something feel a lot more realistic than it did. Thanks, Jorge. Really appreciate it. Ion particles and magnetism. Is that what's happening? Is that the real name of Aurora borealis? All right, last thing we're gonna do before I have to hop off here is we're gonna play with the blend modes because we can add a little bit more luminance to this natural phenomena by playing with how it blends with the background. So I'm just gonna preview some of these, see how they're looking. This is incredibly pink, which I haven't done before, so I'm trying to get used to it. I'm not sure if I totally love it. Maybe we can adjust the colors really quick too. I think I just like normal the most. All right, let's do a quick hue saturation adjustment. Going down here to my adjustment layers, hue saturation, and I'm gonna make sure that I clip the hue saturation adjustment layer to my Aurora borealis so it only affects that. Remember, we learned how to do that by holding Option or Alt between the two layers. And let's change these colors a tad. Ooh. Maybe something a bit more like this. Turn down the saturation just a little bit. That feels a little more vintage too, to me. Okay, I think I like it. So let's get this exported. Let's get this added onto Discord to get some feedback. And then we can post it on Behance when we are all done. Just gonna do a quick export as. Thanks, Lara. Which brush was the first one? I was using the the bristle cut brush from the Real Oils group within the Mega Pack by Kyle Webster. All right, we can make this way smaller because it does not need to be that big, just for some feedback. Export, put it on my desktop, sounds good. And let's jump back to Discord to post this for feedback. If you want to join us on Discord, it's super duper easy. You can just go to bit.ly/psdiscord, capital P, capital S. I'm gonna upload this for feedback. My final, let's see if I can spell this right. Aurora borealis. I think that's right. For the day. Can't wait to see yours. So please try this effect out. You don't have to be a digital painter to do so. Anyone can do it with the trackpad, and I can't wait to see it. And again, I'll just post this really quick. The link to join us on Discord, bit.ly/psdiscord, capital P, capital S. And you're going to want to make sure to post within the challenge feedback channel. Okay. That was fun. I think this was my favorite challenge yet, maybe because I'm more of a digital painter myself. But I'm going to be back tomorrow morning with the last day of our holiday challenge. I can't believe it's already over. But make sure you stick around for more Adobe Live coming up right after this. We've got Jack coming up with Fergie to work on some UX UI design, which is very cool, very different than what was going on here. That's the beauty of Adobe Live. And I will see you tomorrow. So take care, everybody, and I'll see you then. Bye.